Hi, everybody. Will Alexander here from the Interview Chair, brought to you by Dog News Magazine, America's weekly magazine devoted to the sport of purebred dogs. And this week on the chair is longtime friend Wendy Paquette. You're going to enjoy this story. It's a great, great story. Sit back and relax. Hi, everybody. Will here with another interview on the Interview Chair. And today on the chair is my lifelong friend. I've known Wendy forever. Wendy Paquette, Wenrick fame, Shih Tzus, all breed judge, done everything, top dogs, Westminster Group winner. She's done everything. Hi, Wen.
Hello. Good morning, Will.
Yeah, it's still morning. I was so worried because we've been trying to do this for 3 weeks now, I guess.
Right.
I was worried we were cursed at first. Because when I got back down here, I did all my interviews in here. My computer wouldn't turn on, but then it was unplugged. A dog probably unplugged it or something.
Yeah.
So you said the weather's really hot there right now?
100 degrees and high humidity. It's like you don't even want to go outside.
Oh, wow. And it's still early in the year. It's hot here, but not like that. Like I just came in from the back and was walking around the property. So I just moved here. So it's really pretty, but lots of mosquitoes here now. So
You're in Lindsay, right?
yeah, right near Lindsay, yeah. Yeah, Bridge North around Shamong Lake. Really beautiful. And I was worried when I lived up in Acton, the mosquitoes, you couldn't put dogs out past 8 o'clock at night. They were so bad. They're not like that here, but they do bother you. But in Acton,
like
they be against, oh yeah. So like they be against your screen door saying, "Let me in," it's crazy. Oh well. So let's get started. Tell me, Wayne, how did you get started in this sport of dogs? And don't leave anything out.
I'll be leaving stuff out, trust me. Actually, it was by accident because I met Richard when I was in grade 9, 15 years old. Neither one of us had owned a dog before, ever.
Never. Neither one of you had a dog ever.
Ever.
That's crazy. Wow.
So I was living with my mother at the time in a boarding house in Sudbury. She was running it. And one of the boarders had a Sammy tied up in the backyard to the tree. And I was starting to feel sorry for it because he was just like back in the late 60s, like 69. And being the kind of person that he was, he ended up in jail. So then I really had to feed the Sammy. And he had told me at the time to just open up a can both ends and get a bowl of water, or it's snowing out right now, so don't worry about it. You can eat the snow. And I thought, well, this doesn't sound right to me. So long story short is he ended up staying in jail. We ended up getting the registration papers, which was bizarre because I didn't even know what they were at the time. Long story short is once I started walking the dog, like Richard and I would take the dog out for walks because we had just started going out together. That was 1969. And somebody approached us on the street one day and wanted to know if we had papers for our Samoyed. And we said, papers, what are those? So they explained to us that, all dogs have registration papers and that they had a female and they thought our dog was very, very nice. His name was Prince, typical pet name, right? Prince.
We've all had a dog named Prince at one point. So
at the time, we were making like $1.10 an hour working at Kmart. I was the cashier and Richard was my carryout boy. And my mother decided at the time to move to Stewart, British Columbia with her new boyfriend. And there was no way I was moving up to Stewart, British Columbia. So Richard and I, in all of our innocence, decided, well, let's just move in together. I was almost 16 and he was 18 at the time. Well, of course, his parents like blew up, like, you're still teenagers, you're still in school. And then we had this dog, and what do we do with the dog? So we had to find an apartment that would take a dog. So the one day, getting back to where we were walking down the street, and then somebody approached us they thought our Prince was just beautiful, and they would like to use him at stud. What do you mean you want to use him at stud? Like, no idea what they were talking about. Well, we would like to offer you $300 to pay for a stud service, providing he's registered. So Richard and I scramble, go visit the guy in jail, see if we can get registration papers on this dog. Sure enough, we got them out of his glove compartment in his car, which was impounded. Got the dog registered. And then we decided to go into obedience first to train this dog, right? So there he is with his red collar hearts around his neck. And our lead was the chain with the red handle on it attached. So we're walking this dog around, right? Going to obedience classes. And at the same time, someone had mentioned a dog show to us. We thought, dog shows, what are those? Like, this was now 1970. And Sudbury was just coming on board with purebred dogs at the time. So between the obedience classes and show training classes, we met the Pancels, which I know he's no longer around, but no. Is Phyllis still around? I don't know.
I think she might be, yeah.
Yeah, maybe in a home. So they introduced us to the world of show dogs. So now we have the registration papers. We decide to go to a dog show in Kingston, Ontario. Keep in mind, we're just like, now I'm 17 and he's 19 and we're making $1.10 an hour, right? So we had to find another apartment to live in. So we rented this one-room apartment above someone's garage that would accept the dog. And we were paying, I think, $75 a month. Meanwhile, still going to school. We didn't give up on the schooling. And while we're at the Kingston Dog Show, I saw this puppy sitting on a table, and I thought, what kind of dog is that? So I went up to, her name at the time was Pat Dixon from Ottawa. And Rich was having fun. He was getting obedience titles on our Sammy, right, our pet Sammy. And I was bored. So I went over and started talking to her. And sure enough, she had got her dog from the Creeks in Montreal. And their handler at the time was Luc Below, because he was still Canadian at that time, right?
Yeah.
And so I tried to look into getting a Shih Tzu puppy from somebody, right? Nothing. I could find nothing. Creeks didn't have anything. At that time, they had only just been registered in the U.S. that year. So even contacting, because they had told me maybe try breeders in the U.S. And a few names, well, of course, then you had to call everybody and tell them that you didn't know a thing about anything, and they're not going to sell you a dog at that point, right? And I get those calls today from other people, and I feel sorry for them because they haven't done their homework. I was in that same position of not knowing a thing and trying to fly blind. So at the same time, we decided to go to another dog show in Sault Ste. Marie, this time with our Sammy as an open dog, with our red collar and our chain leash. And lo and behold, Maud, good old Maud, pulled us aside. Yeah, pulled us aside, showed us how to groom the Sammy properly, showed us what type of lead to put on it. And to this day, we give most of our credit to her.
Wow.
For teaching us how to show dogs.
Yeah.
And even then, I think she was ancient.
She always looked the same.
Right.
Her and Mrs. Whitmore always looked the same.
Yeah, yeah. So we ended up getting the obedience title on the dog and his confirmation title. Thank you, Maud, for leading us down in that direction, right? So then I decide, okay, I'll have to find myself a Shih Tzu puppy somewhere. So I look into the Toronto Star, because that was the days when you had to look at newspapers, right? And now I'm probably making $1.30 an hour. Rich is probably making $1.20 an hour because he's my carry-out boy, right? Packing the groceries at Kmart Foods. So I get another part-time job at Drug City on Sunday afternoons. And Richard would actually come to pick me up at work with the sleigh being pulled by our Sammy, because we would bring our groceries home like that, because we didn't have a car at the time, right?
Yeah.
So we pick up a Toronto Star, and we see an announcement for a litter of puppies coming over from London, Britain, right? Oh, and when do they arrive? Oh, they're arriving on, I think it was March something or other. You can come down and pick out whichever one you want. So I'm thinking, well, that's good. So I pick up my How to Raise and Train a Shih Tzu book, right? That was the only thing I could find at the time, living in Sudbury. Yeah. No internet, no computer, no nothing. It was like encyclopedias, the Britannica encyclopedias. Shih Tzus weren't really in there.
Libraries.
Yeah. So we managed to get ourselves a 67 Chevy Impala at the time. And at that time, it was like a good 5-hour trip to Toronto. So we did two things that weekend. We went to visit a Samoyed kennel in Unionville. And we also went to look at the litter of Shih Tzu puppies that had come over in this wooden box.
Which Samoyed kennel in Unionville? Is that Frank?
Oh, I don't know. Going back to no.
Oh, okay.
They lived in a little old log cabin, and we wanted to look at pedigrees because the books all told us you have to look at pedigrees on your dogs, right? So that was our first introduction to pedigrees. So they say, yeah, come on down. We'll show you all the dogs in the pedigree. Well, we're thinking, well, that's great, right? We get to see a bunch of dogs. So we had the two appointments. One was to visit the Samoyed kennel because we're going to start breeding Sammies because there was good money. I mean, we'd been paid a $300 stud service, which was like a month's pay for us, right? And look at this litter of puppies. And the How to Raise and Train a Shih Tzu said the one that has the most arrogance. So starting off at the Samoyed place, we went to this log cabin in Unionville. I could picture it today. An old couple, probably in their 70s or 80s. Sammy's running all over the place, down in this little hollow in one of the ravines. So we started asking about the pedigree. Oh, yeah, come on over. We'll show you those dogs. Both corners of the home had what I thought was rugs at the time with labels on them. These were all the old dogs from the 30, 40 years I had. So they were in the pedigrees, but all there was the rugs left, like their skins, right? And some heads on some of them. And some of them were taxidermied in the corners. And so we're thinking, well, this can't be how people do it, right? Like, so yeah, it's not how people do it. But we got to see all the dogs in the pedigree, technically, right? So then we go over to visit this house in Toronto from the Toronto Star. Sure enough, there's a litter of Shih Tzu puppies there, silver and white. And I still show this picture today of my first, showing it at 17 years old, at about 8 months old. And like, wow. So I picked up the one that carried the flashlight around the room because she held her head up high and just thought, like, look at me. And that's what the How to Raise and Train a Shih Tzu, that's what the book told you to do. Pick the one that is proud of herself. So I did. Long story short, now we're coming into, we have an Afghan from Phyllis and Joe because we want to get experience, right? So we're showing the Afghan, showing the Shih Tzu puppy. The Sammy's a champion, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. He's got his obedience title, show title. And now we're into like 1972. So we decide, well, we might as well just get married because we've been together for 5 years or 4 years at this point. Okay. So the day I graduated from high school in 1972, which I think was June 30th, we got married on July the 1st, right? And we didn't have anywhere to live. We had no money because we were both just graduating from high school. So Richard decided he was going to try a year of college. So because he did that, his parents said, okay, well, we'll help you with some money if you can find a place. Well, we couldn't find a place that would take dogs. So we ended up staying at their cottage on the lake, which is now where Patty and Mark live.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they had to tear down the cottage because it wasn't really, we shouldn't have been living in it because at the time, there was no road in the wintertime. Richard would have to get in the skidoo to go out to the road to meet his ride to work. So then I'd be left there, and our water was out of a hole in the ice on the lake. So that was quite the experience. We did that for a year. We'd have to go in and shower at different people's places. It was just bizarre. But we had dogs, and we were trying to make some.
Did what you did, had to do.
We did what we did, right? Yeah. So then we decided, okay, we're going to break.
It's a great story. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it does. So by this time, I've got a championship on the Shih Tzu. Oh, I'm going to go back just one little bit. My first show with the Shih Tzu, she was 12 weeks old. And you'll never guess who was judging. Gary and Elaine. Gary and Elaine were judging our match. It was a sanctioned match, okay? Gary and Elaine.
Elaine Whitney and Gary McDonald, for people who want to know. Yeah. They were married at the time.
So, yeah. So, actually, Elaine showed me how to put the top knot in for me and showed me how to put a top knot in this little puppy. And then I won the whole match. I mean, that's typical Elaine, right?
Right.
But this little girl she was silver and white, had a ton of attitude, and she just thought she was hot shit, right? And Elaine loved that. But then she had to show me how to groom it. Imagine me taking lessons from Elaine for grooming. So that was our start.
For the time, it was perfect, right?
Yeah, no, she taught us a lot. So between the Pancels and Gary and Elaine and stuff like that, we got better and better. And then we decided, okay, I'm going to breed my Shih Tzu puppy. Right? She's a year old now, right? She's a champion. And so we called Pat Dixon back in Ottawa. The little puppy that I'd met on the table like a year before was now an adult, Carrie Monte Ting Ting. And we went to Ottawa, we got her bred, and we had a litter of 5 puppies.
He won a bunch of best in shows, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. No, he was the top Shih Tzu. And again, those dogs came back down from the creeks, and Luke Below and all that, and Bill Taylor at the time knew, So I didn't know who Bill was until a few years later. So I kept my female in coat during the 2 litters. And then in 1975, I actually got a best in show on her in full coat. And today she could walk in the ring. So I got lucky. Really? And when I started looking at the pedigree that came with her, it's all the top name brands in England. The Tom True and Green Moss and so
you kind of lucked out that Toronto Star.
Yeah, exactly. But this wooden box with the holes on the side and the little slide-up door in the front, they would never be allowed to ship like that. So the whole litter of 5 puppies.
I got a Wire Fox Terrier from England like that.
Yeah. So then we decided, okay, well, we went down to quite a few matches in Toronto because dog shows, we didn't know anything about the big dog shows at that time. And one of the biggest ones we went to was actually the Royal Winter Fair. I believe it was in March. And we brought a black and white dog down out of that litter of puppies that we had. And he did well. So we said, okay, let's go down to the States now. So we went down and we wanted to see the first Shih Tzu that had ever gone best in show in the United States, which was Chimulari Ying Ying. And it was owned by the Eastons. And they lived in, I think it was New Jersey, Philadelphia area. So we go down, we meet them, and they said, did you want to bring this black dog home to show him in Canada for us? Oh, well, okay, but we'll do that, right? And we can use them at stud, We paid for everything at the time because it was a reverend and his wife, and they were mentoring us, and we thought, oh, okay, this is a good first step in the door, right? So we got his championship, we bred to him. I don't remember keeping anything out of that, but it gave us a lot of experience. So then our next venture was we met June Penta at a dog show, Pentara Shih Tzu. I don't think a lot of people realize that she was a Shih Tzu breeder as well as an Afghan breeder back in
I
the.
only knew her as Afghans. I didn't know her as Shih Tzus.
Yeah. So I bought Pentara's Annabella from her. So now we've made some money having puppies, right? So this is good. We're enjoying this. In the meantime, I've had 3 children, the first 2 11 months apart, and then the third one about a year and a half later. Richard's now working in the mines underground. I'm trying to raise kids. We're trying to have puppies and learn everything there is to learn about dogs because, like I said, neither one of us had any experience. So now we're into like 1975, 76, 77. We've got a best in show on our Shih Tzu, so we think, oh, this is pretty good stuff happening here, right? So we could venture out. So we started going down to specialties in the United States. And the first specialty I went to was in 1980, and I did go best of winners with one of my girls out of and Pentara's Annabella, and June was judging the specialty. But I didn't know at the time that you couldn't do that, right? But she hadn't seen the bitch in like 3 years, and I'd never put 2 and 2 together at the time. But so that got us into our introduction into American Shih Tzu Club Nationals, and so we joined that club. Then in 1980, Richard gets injured in the mines because he used to go work graveyard shift. Like he would, when we lived out at the cottage, he would take the skidoo out and then come back in the morning and have to skidoo back in. But by this time, we had our car, and his parents helped us with a home because we built that semi-detached home we have in Canada, which we still have today. And he got injured. So then I'm thinking, he didn't have to work anymore because he had a pension now because his leg was almost crushed and off. So then we decided, well, let's get more involved in dogs. So that's when we decided to go into boarding dogs in our basement and grooming dogs. So we had to learn how to groom poodles and all that kind of stuff. And there's a woman out there called, I don't know if you know Kathleen, she used to have standard poodles.
What was her name?
Kathleen. You probably know her to see her. Yeah. And then that's how Patty and Mark came on the scene because they had liked the Shih Tzus, and Patty decided she was going to get some Shih Tzus from us. And actually, Coralie in Thunder Bay got a Shih Tzu from us in 77, I think it was. Carol Randall got a Shih Tzu from us, the Cimarron Kennels in Thunder Bay. And Carol was still breeding Bouviers at the time, but she wanted her introduction to Shih Tzu. So we started spreading out as far as, okay, we're going to go to dog shows. Well, we can take your dog to the dog show. So we'd have to learn how to show that dog and groom that dog. So that's how we ended up taking all these dogs from the Northern Ontario down to dog shows in Toronto. And we opened up the boarding and grooming kennel, which kept us going financially. So now we're into the 80s, and the kids are growing up. Not fun having 3 kids together. Sort of. And two boys and a wild young girl.
Yeah.
And their parties and all that other stuff, right? So, I'm sure a lot of people have heard the stories. Anyway, so we became what they call, we didn't know at the time, but we were considered a professional handler. And we decided, okay, to learn all these other things, we have to get involved in some of these other breeds. So we bred Afghans. We had 2 litters of Afghans. That wasn't our thing. We tried toy poodles. Jody loved the toy poodles, but it was too much work for her. We got a pointer from the fellow in Ottawa. What's his name? You know.
Sandy.
Who?
Sandy Gunn? Sandy
Gunn, right. A lemon and white pointer.
I remember
and she
her.
worked out great, yeah. But the shedding, it was just too much for me.
I mean, like beagles and pointers are like, yeah.
Nothing
like it.
So that was Jody starting to learning how to handle dogs because she was just.
I remember that pointer bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like Tori, just wanted to soak up everything. The 2 boys could care less. But so we got Jody the pointer, and she learned a lot on that. And the toy poodle, she wanted toy poodles. We got that. I don't think we even bred the pointer. I think we tried breeding the toy poodle. But so we tried a number of breeds. We had the fox terrier, and we had the smooth terrier. We had the Salukis. We had 2 litters of Salukis. We had the
I don't remember the Salukis.
From the boys in Bowman or just Orangeville. You know, the 2 boys. And I can't think of their names right now. Yeah, you'll remember them one day.
Yeah, I'll call you.
Brussels Griffons. It ended up we had litters from about 25 different breeds, and they were all just leased litters from the different clients that we'd started showing for, because we figured that was the best way to get ourselves involved in the nuances of all these breeds.
Right, to learn the breeds, yeah.
Yeah, because we'd had...
And I have to say, you two were very good at that, or taking new breeds and learning about them and getting very good at them. So I remember talking to Gary about that. So
living in Sudbury, we didn't really have anyone up there other than Joe and Phyllis to show us anything. So it was a matter of, I don't know how many trips we made to Toronto, but I must have gone through 15 vans in those 20 years, back and forth it was hard.
Oh, I know. We all thought, how do they drive Sunday night, every night like that?
I know. Knock on wood, we're lucky to be here still.
Yeah.
So we didn't keep any of the puppies out of any of these litters. We just wanted the experience to see how they whelped, genetically what they produced, because we'd get involved with the breeders. And it was teaching our clients at the same time, because they didn't know either as to how to do stuff. And because I didn't really have the mentorship in Sudbury myself, I had to go out and get it from other people. So, and that's where Garrett Lambert comes in. Garrett was a lifesaver for all those breeds.
A lifesaver for a lot of people learning things.
Yeah, I'll tell you. No. He taught us everything there was. He got me into grooming the Shih Tzu properly, the toy poodle, you name it. Whatever breed you asked him about, he knew how to do it for you to help you along the way, right? And then with the standard poodles that we took on, Ed Henderson.
Oh, he was great. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I saw Brenda at a show just 2 weeks ago, and I thought, if I'm as good as you are at your age, it would be a plus. She was still going, still showing those dogs. Still remembered me.
Ed was an incredible teacher, though, wasn't he?
Oh,
Ed was a great teacher.
I don't know how he did it with those hands, but
yeah. He just the way he explained things. He was such a good teacher.
They weren't in a good area either, out in the Winnipeg area.
No.
So all those trips to Thunder Bay, Ed would be there to help us.
Yeah.
So between now we're into Bobby Lane, not Gary anymore.
Yeah.
Right. I'll never forget. Elaine, I was working for Elaine at the time because I thought Elaine could teach me a lot of stuff. And she did in her own way.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever I had a chance, I would go to dog shows with Elaine, and Richard would stay home with the kids and look after the kennel. So I remember the one trip up to Thunder Bay, and Elaine and I go out. She picks me up in Sudbury, and we go up and we break down in Nipigon. And we're thinking, oh, now what do? We have this big white box truck full of, I think we had 25 dogs with us. And Elaine says, we'll call a tow truck, and I'm going to call Bob, and they're going to come and get us. Well, Thunder Bay is 12 hours from Sudbury, let alone where Bob and Elaine were from, right? I think she was still at Gary at the time, actually, too. But so Bob comes up and picks up Mark Paquette, Richard's brother, on his way to help him drive up, right? To come and get us. But in the meantime, Elaine calls the tow truck people. Elaine gets in the front with the tow truck driver and leaves me in the back, the box truck, with my sitting in the driver's seat facing backwards, and they tie down the steering wheel between my legs. And I'm thinking, why am I up here? It's not my truck.
Never happened today.
It would never happen today. So we go from Nipigon into Thunder Bay, and we show the dogs, and Bob and Mark come up and rescue us. And it was like, Mark took the bus home, I believe, if I remember it right, and Bob came home with us. I ended up driving all the way home because there was something in the back that interested them. Yeah, so now we're into the 80s, late 80s, and everything's going well. Kids are growing up. And we decide, well, okay, we can't do this forever. We're not going to be young forever. And this is a lot of work. All that driving and
showing dogs and all those miles, that's a lot of work.
And the 3 children and the boarding kennel and the grooming shop. And luckily his parents were like home for us every weekend, so that we didn't have to take the kids if we didn't want to, but you couldn't leave Jody at home. She always had to go.
Right.
Luckily, her principal at school was a golden retriever breeder, so she would be gone Mondays and Fridays almost regularly, because we'd have to leave Friday morning to go to the show, right, and not get home till late Sunday night or Monday, depending on weather. And he said, no, Jody is getting more experience by traveling with you and doing what you're doing than she would be in school here on Mondays and Fridays. So that worked out well for her.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't do that today, Jody's learned. The schools don't put up with that anymore. And the boys would, if they were being grounded, they had to come to the dog show, and they hated that. So, so then we decided, okay, well, if we're not going to show dogs anymore, now we're into the.
Now, what year is this that you're stopping?
93. I was showing the Pekingese and the Maltese, and Richard had the Lakeland Terrier. And we'd already done all that winning with the Yorkie. I got 22 best in shows on the Yorkie, 23 best in shows on the Maltese. We had 50 best in shows on the Lakeland. We had 50 best in shows on the Pekingese.
Bingo.
So,
was it bingo?
Bingo, yep.
Yeah.
And again, at the time, we co-owned a lot of these dogs, because we wanted our names in for the experience that we felt we were putting into the breeds. So we'd get recognition, because we didn't know what we were going to do down the road.
Right.
So now the kids really can't go to dog shows anymore because they're getting older. They have to go to school. Richard's parents are getting older, and we think, well, okay, they're not going to be around forever either. But if we don't do dog shows, we can't rely on the boarding and grooming up in Sudbury, because at the time it wasn't a moneymaker per se. And I was breeding a lot of puppies. We couldn't do that today because of all the rules and regulations. And that was easier to sell dogs around the world. So you name a country, I've probably got a Shih Tzu there. And that was when we could ship them, just put them in the crate and send them on their way. And over 20 years, I never had an issue with it. I think it's hindering breeders from being able to show their stuff around the world and work with other breeders. And it's not what it used to be at all.
Yeah.
So after selling dogs everywhere, we were upwards of 25 litters a year with no problem selling. And because we had the grooming shop and a lot of local dogs, and Patty was working for us at the time, she was our kennel manager when we were gone, we could see a lot of these dogs coming back in that we'd bred and put out there to see how they're growing, maturing, which gave us a lot of experience. And I think that's where a lot of breeders today lose their focus. They'll sell all these dogs and not look into them a year or two down the road to see how they matured, to see if what they saw at 8 weeks was what they saw at 2 years. And that's where the boarding and grooming kennel gave us the advantage, I believe, because these dogs would come back in and I would think, well, this isn't what I expected. Or I would go, wow, how did that get by me? Or my God, I'm glad that went as a pet, so. And I think a lot of breeders don't do that today. You come in, you pay them your money, goodbye, see you later. And they don't keep track of anything. So that's why in my posting today on Facebook and stuff like that, I tell people photos, timelines are so very important. I don't think half the people believe me, but if someone wants to mentor under me, I need monthly updates. I need monthly photos. You prove to me that you're putting in the work, or else I'm not mentoring you anymore. And the same with the judges that I've are mentored.
It's fair.
So, right. And back then we had to send our film away. We had to hope that and pray that something out of the 25 shots on our little cameras, would come back and you get at least one that you could sell a puppy out of, right?
Yeah.
And the mail and all that other stuff. So it wasn't easy back then trying to sell dogs or learn stuff. And
you had to work. You had to work to find out the information. It's not like that touch of the button now, we find it. So
yeah, no, back then it was like the Britannica or the library.
Yeah.
So now we're into the early 90s, and handling was good. It was fun, but it was a lot of work. It was hard on the bodies. And we figure we can't keep this up. I don't know how some of these other people do keep it up. And I'm not sure. They must enjoy it. But to me, I think there comes a point in anyone's career that they say to themselves, are we getting anything out of this right now? Or have we proven to ourselves that we can move on from this and try something else? So we decided to look into animal control as a backup, because we're not showing dogs. We needed another source of income to supplement the boarding and the grooming. And we had the facilities. So we ended up doing animal control, for all the townships around. And then eventually we did animal control for the city of Sudbury. I think that lasted about 5 years. And then the city decided they wanted to take it over themselves. But by this time, we'd started judging. And so we're in the mid-90s now. I think my first judging assignment was in 1993. So all through those 93 to about 2000, you didn't often get paid for judging, and you had to put a lot of the money out yourself just to go, so that they would invite you back to judge. And because we had the experience of showing dogs from coast to coast and at the World Show and stuff like that, we had our foot in the door, which I think a lot of judges today don't have that advantage. Because if they're only coming up if they're only coming up in a single breed, they only know so many people.
Right.
And you couldn't solicit back then. But because we had gone to all these dog shows right across Canada, I think one time we were gone for 6 weeks. We would stop in Thunder Bay, Winnipeg, Calgary, Vancouver, and then come back again and do shows on the way back. That was when Raymond Urich worked for us.
Yeah.
We took our bus out there and we were gone 6 weeks. So animal control worked out financially to be a lifesaver at that point, because, the money was coming in and we could get away, and the kids were older, so they didn't have to come with us, although Jody always wanted to. So I think we became all-breed judges in 2006, which took us 13, 14 years. I think what my issue with some of the countries is that in America, it could take you 40 years to be an all-breed judge back then.
Mm-hmm.
Their system is limiting, I feel, as far as people getting experience, because they're only learning the breeds that they have to learn. And then when it comes to being able to judge all breeds of dogs, they don't have it because they haven't had their hands on enough.
Right. Well, I think there's definite advantage doing your profession and moving into this next evolution because of the dogs that have passed through you,
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
So it made it easier for us because all these kennel clubs that had said, when you're going for your license, just give us a call. So we already had our foot in the door in that. We've been out there. We participated at their shows. So it sort of came full circle. So they would call us.
Right.
And most of our big assignments were out in Alberta and BC because the numbers were out there at the time. There was numbers in Toronto, but you could, like in Canada, you have to have so many dogs in the group. As far as you do have a group, you don't have to judge every breed, but you have to have numbers. And at that time, the numbers were higher than what they are now. I think we needed 150 dogs in non-sporting, and that was my first group, to qualify as a pass. And you haven't judged all the breeds. In some ways, if I probably handled all the breeds, but these people that are not handling these breeds and don't have the experience, I feel sorry for them.
It's hard for them for sure. And then they go out there, they get thrown to the lions, and they aren't ready for it.
So, no, they're not ready for it at all.
Yeah.
So then we ended up, my first U.S. assignment was in 1999 at the American Shih Tzu National. And from there, it just blossomed. So by 2006, we were both all breed. And we dabbled in a lot of the overseas shows at that point because of the dogs I'd sold overseas.
Sure.
Australia, South America, Thailand. And I'd been to a lot of these places to show dogs when I delivered the puppies. So we sort of got our foot in the door that way also. So by 2006, we were eligible to judge around the world easily. And because of our connections, it was easier for us. And a lot of people don't have those connections today. No. So I'm not sure how much farther you want me to go as far as timeline. But
even if we can veer off, because I want to know, because you have worn 3 different hats basically in our sport. You're a breeder, been a handler, now you're a judge. A lot of people have come through you. Some really well established people now, like with Raymond Urich and your daughter Jody, who's she's incredible in her own way. And so you've had all these different assistants. You've had even breeders go through you. You had all kinds. So you talked about Randall's and Thunder Bay. And those people are all there because of you, basically.
Right.
So I'd like to know. I'd like to know those people. I'd also know who you think are your mentors. I'd also like to know, you judged all over the world, what dogs, other than dogs that are being campaigned now, what dogs have made a lasting impression on you? Like when you see a Shih Tzu, other than your own dogs, what dog comes to mind? Or when you see a Yorkie, what kind of dog comes to mind that you've actually seen or wish you could have been a part of or shown or touched or bred to? Like those things. I find that interesting.
Well, the dog from Australia would be an Afghan that Hamilton's had.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a black bitch. And
they've had some beautiful dogs.
Thailand was a Shih Tzu. That event I found out went back to my stuff like 4 generations back, right?
Yeah.
And he ended up actually coming over here, and he was awarded the national when I judged it in Oklahoma. I think about 6 years ago. I have to go back and look at that. As far as South America, boxers.
Yeah. And
I went to visit the boxer Sunland in Fortaleza, Brazil. Beautiful boxers. I've never seen a kennel like that before.
Yeah.
It was
That's amazing. A lot of those boxers come from maritime breeders up from the Eleanor, right. And they started there. So
Europe, I don't know.
They dogs in America or Canada, like are there dogs in your past that like you think, I wish I could have shown that dog or been a part of that dog, like dogs like that. I remember, I think it was actually might have been Richard that he was interviewed one time, and he said he wished he could have shown like Sunshine Man, English Setter Fantail Sunshine Man.
Oh, he was beautiful. Garrett and him were they were a team.
I was talking about him yesterday. It's just those are dogs who just stick around.
I still remember that picture he has with him sitting on the deck of overlooking the water, and Sonny sitting beside him there. And we transported Sonny a few times for him, and oh my God,
he wasn't shut up.
He wouldn't shut up.
I took him a couple times too. He never shut up.
No, the whole trip, nonstop barking.
I got him one time when he was a veteran dog. So he had a kerchief and he was all white faced and he was would not shut up. And we broke down. Allison and I broke down on the way up to the Northern Circuit because I think we were taking him back to Frank. And we're at a rest stop, and we have all the dogs out next pens. And I was so mad at Sonny this point because he would not shut up.
Yeah.
And these people are going down there walking along, and they said, "What kind of dog is that?" I said, "He's not even purebred. He's part Field Spaniel, toothless old Field Spaniel, part Field Spaniel dog." And at that point, he was Canada's all-time winning dog. But I was so mad at him. I was so mad at Garrett because he would not shut up.
Right. I don't think a lot of people realize that Bill and Nigel had bred Shih Tzus.
I knew that.
You knew that, yeah. So
yes.
Nigel was a card. He come and look at my litter of Shih Tzu puppies. He says, I want your opinion. So of course, like not realizing it at the time, he just wanted me to buy one. So then I said to him,
everything went for sale with Nigel.
Yeah. So then we said, well, I like that one. I could take it and finish it for you and give it back to you after I have a litter. Oh, no. Her price is, I don't remember what it was, but everything had a price. Everything had a price.
We don't have those characters as much anymore, though.
No.
Yeah.
And then we went down to, we dabbled in the Lakeland Terriers.
Yeah.
And the Wire Fox Terriers. And we went to visit.
Richard had great success with Danny. He had great success with Danny.
And looking back, he wasn't all that. But at the time, there wasn't a lot of terrier people in Canada.
Especially in Canada. We weren't that strong in those certain breeds. And he did a great job,
No, learning how to maintain a terrier code is not easy.
Yeah.
And that was Richard's job. It wasn't my cup of tea. I'd rather sit there.
You got to give him his due. I guess he really had no way to really sit and teach him. He basically learned himself. I'm sure he asked people at shows, but then he'd go home and he'd work like a bugger to get that dog in shape. And he did. He got the dog in shape. So,
Well, we'd go down and visit Peter Green, and he would help us with the Wire Fox Terriers. And we bought a dog from him. Mm-hmm. And then there was a Lakeland Terrier breeder that I don't think he's in it anymore, but he showed us how to do Lakeys and stuff like that. So we made a lot of trips down to Montgomery. I think judges today have to visit these big shows. It's getting expensive, but what you learn at these larger shows, if you concentrate and don't just socialize all day and not sit and actually watch a groomer or a handler in the ring, you don't appreciate what goes into it.
Oh, for sure. And I always thought this about you too, because Sudbury's a remote area for dog shows. Mm-hmm. And you two excelled in breeds that you had to work your butts off to learn and go to those big events. And it wasn't just like, for me to go to Montgomery, okay, it's 8 hours, 10 hours. Well, it's almost double for you to go. Yeah. Like that's a commitment. And I think you guys did great, having to come from where you were, and you put Sudbury on the map for dog shows as far as I'm concerned,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Ann Rogers Clark and the Yorkie that I won the best in shows with under her, and many other judges. She always said to me, "It's a lovely bitch, but she deserves to be in the whelping box." And to this day, I remember that. She told me the same thing with Twinkie the Maltese. You can have all the fun you want, but they have a timeline, dear.
Yeah,
don't waste it. Yeah, don't waste it. So I very, very seldom, I finish a bitch or a female, I should say, and they get bred. And the ones that I've wasted time on and not bred till they're 4 or 5, there was a waste. Because I agree. I missed that breeding period on them, and I would get a litter maybe out of them or stuff. But the females are definitely made to be bred, not shown. Your boys are important, but your bitches are more important.
Yeah, I've shown a lot of bitches, and you're right. There comes a point where they cross that line where they'll still have a litter, but not like they would have when they were younger.
Yeah,
so,
true. Yeah. So Ann Rogers Clark, not only did she help us with the Yorkies, she helped us you're frozen. She
You're
helped
back.
us. Okay, she helped us with the Standard Poodles and Rogers Clark.
Mhm. Yeah.
I remember a day in Montreal. She was judging in one ring, and we were showing a dog for Doris out of Annie's stud dog at the time. I can't remember what his name was.
Reddy.
Or with him.
You were showing Reddy, weren't you?
We were showing Reddy, but Reddy was out of one of Annie's dogs, males.
Oh, sorry, one of Annie's dogs. Okay, not sure which one.
It was one of our big winners at the time. So we had to learn how to do poodles, and she would help us. She would come over and, okay, do this, and this, and I'll come back. And she was judging at the time also. So she would come into the dressing room actually at the dog shows back then. So we get the dog all ready ringside, and she notices she's keeping an eye on when Standard Poodles are going to go in the ring. So she stops her judging, tells her steward, I'll be right back. She comes over, looks at Reddy ringside, walks all the way around him. Okay, give me your scissors. So we have the scissors ringside.
Imagine doing that today.
I give her the scissors, and we brush down his ears, and she chops off about 2 inches off the one ear. She says, now do the other side, and I'll be back. So we went in and we won the group under whatever judge it was, but you couldn't do that today.
Oh, God, no.
I don't care how important you are. You couldn't do that today, so I miss those days whenever you could talk to people.
We could learn so much from these people we see 2 or 3 times a year,
Mm-hmm.
If you're allowed to talk. Like, I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't allowed to talk. Like, I always bugged Janie and Bob when they came, mostly Janie. I'd bug them and bug them and bug them, and that was just the way it was.
Oh, yeah, no, I got many handling lessons from Janie. You have to move like this, not like that. You have to do this on the table, not that on the table. So
yeah, they were great. I think we were in the best time for dogs, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't want to keep you, but that was an incredible story. I'm glad we did this because it was a fun story to listen to. I had fun listening to it here. One more question though, Win. Actually, two. First of all,
just going back to what you just said, though, I think people today want to be instant experts.
Oh, there's no question. We're in an instant gratification period of time right now. So
yeah, and you can't. You have to work your way up. I mean, we didn't do this in 2 or 3 years. We're into our 55th year now of doing this. And when I think of the dogs that have gone through our hands over those years, the different breeds, like when I totaled it up, we finished championships on 80 different breeds over the years. And
it's unheard of now.
I'm well over 200 American champions, just Shih Tzus, let alone the other breeds, and 350 Canadian champions. And people look at those numbers and think, well, how could you do that? Well, back then, you could have kennels of 30, 40 dogs, and no one would say a thing. And that's missing today because you can't get the education that you need within your breed without the history.
Yeah, and you can't build up a family of dogs the way you want to with one litter a year. You really can't.
Right.
So.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, what advice would you give someone that wanted to start in this crazy world? You basically already answered it, so.
Start with a boy. They're more reliable in the long haul. Their coats are easier to manage, especially on a Shih Tzu. They're more stable. They don't come into season so that you're like, you get to a dog show, oh, my girl's in season, she drops her tail, and then you're screwed, right?
Right.
The boys turn into stallions if you're patient. People today aren't patient. They finish all these dogs at 6, 7, 8 months old now because it's easy to do. You never see those dogs again. So when I mentor people, it's like, I want monthly photos. Then I'll say, okay, now you're ready to show your dog. I don't show my dogs till they're like 10, 11 months old because I don't think I even see the finished product. So then I make sure I take pictures cut down, front, side, moving. And I look at the pictures from a year ago and think, that's a different dog, right? So when I do my posts on Facebook and tell people, if you want to be mentored by me, I need progress reports. constantly. Like, I can't trust you not to do your homework.
Right.
It's like a teacher, right?
Especially
You have
nowadays,
to, yeah. So, and especially if you're going to show one of my dogs, I'll tell you when you can walk in the ring with it, not before, or you don't get a dog. So
what's next for Wendy? You're not done yet, I know that.
Well, I did. It was hard keeping that secret for a year, judging at Westminster, I have to say.
Are you excited?
I do have, I do. I do have some of the breeds I really appreciate and ones I've shown. Few new breeds in there, but it'll be an experience. It's another one off my bucket list.
I can't wait to watch you, so it'll be fun.
Well, I did go this year. I haven't gone in a few years because of health and whelping litters and stuff like that.
Right.
But I made sure I went this year because I wanted to mentally get myself prepared. And another thing new judges don't do, they don't prepare. They don't go and sit down and watch these other experienced judges. Like some you don't want to watch, but some you should sit down and actually pay attention to how they use their ring. And especially in big specialties, I learned a lot from Annie watching her judge like 100 Irish setters, because it's a breed that, or any solid color dog, it's difficult. And a lot of judges are out of their league when they go into these big entries. And they look like they're out of their league because you can see that they're just headlights looking at these dogs and thinking, now what do I do? So it's.
I always loved how she did the setters, the specialties, and she ended up putting her winners right in the center.
Right.
And it confused everybody except for people that knew. I took my Beagle to the American National. I forget what year it was, because she had done for him. So I thought we had a chance. And my client's wife came, and she never, ever went to the shows. Just Bill went to the shows. And so we're doing this, and she's putting the dogs in order, and I'm right in the center with Kevin Beagle. So I'm like 17th in line. And the bitch is good. And all I can hear is my client, oh, great. He flew all the way here. He's going 17th.
But see, like the novice judge is sitting ringside wouldn't be able to follow her because they haven't watched her enough, right? And she taught me was, if you've got a solid color breed and it's not one that you're really, really accustomed to, put your dogs on one side, your bitches on the other side, and your specials at the other end. Separate them. Make it easy for yourself. Like, don't get confused. So and then that's what I've been doing on a lot of these bigger entries, because even in party color dogs, you lose track. And she always used to tell me, okay, pick a color on your winner, not the dog, the person. If it's a pink skirt or a red jacket, keep that in your mind, but don't look at the people. Just keep so that you know where you stopped and started, type thing, right? So little things like that. I don't think you get that from a lot of judges these days when they're mentoring people. No. Which is sad, because they do look like they're lost in the ring.
Well, now it's your job to pass it on, Wen. You can be that person that tell them then.
Well, I do the judges seminars with June and Jerry every year at Louisville. Yeah. And for the past 4 years, I've been doing, last year we had 15 seminars over 5 days. And
that's great.
Before that, we were doing 12 seminars over 4 days. And I see a lot of I'm actually on the board now of the ADGA. And I see a lot of the judges that go through there, and I'm thinking, you're not going to make it. But you can't tell them that. They sit there in class and they're on their phones or they're on their computers or they're asleep. And it's, you can tell their heart isn't it. They're just checking off boxes.
Right. Box checkers. They did this seminar under Wendy Paquette. Could you please sign this and check my box? And away you go.
Right. Yeah. You never see them again.
No. Yeah. We do get that. It's a shame. Yeah. Well, I wish you all the luck in New York. I can't wait to watch you. It's going to be great. And we're all proud of you up here. So thank you.
Well, everyone helps each other, and we should. So
Well,
We
thanks,
learn
Gwen.
from
Thanks for
each
giving me
other.
your time.
Thank you for asking.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Will.
Thank you, Wendy. What a great interview. From your beginnings to where you are now, unbelievable. What a great story. I was captivated for the whole hour. If you like what you're seeing here, make sure you press the like, share, and subscribe button. And don't forget to watch the podcast, which comes out every Thursday, The Dog Show Drive. And I will see you down the road somewhere.